Ever catch yourself getting sucked into those online ads? You know, like you're just scrolling along, minding your own business,
Happens to the best of us.
and bam! Suddenly you've got to have that gadget or sign up for that free trial.
Like those marketers have some secret code they're tapping into.
Right. Today we're cracking that code. Get ready to unpack the psychology of persuasion, folks.
It's going to be a deep dive.
This deep dive, we're digging into a podcast script all about sales techniques. And don't worry, this isn't about turning you into a sales guru. It's about understanding the why behind our buying decisions.
Peeling back the layers on consumer behavior.
Exactly. Before we can decode those sales tricks, we got to start with the basics. How do we as consumers actually think?
It's all about consumer behavior, right? That blend of thoughts, feelings, actions, all swirling together on the road to a purchase.
Speaking of which, ever buy something totally on impulse, like budget? What budget? Those shoes were calling my name.
See? Emotions. We like to think we're all logical, but those feelings play a huge role. There's these stages, actually. Psychologists have them all mapped out. Awareness, interest, desire, then boom, action.
Okay, so awareness, that's just knowing something exists. But what takes us from, that's kind of neat, to I need it and no dough?
That's where the good stuff comes in. Each stage, it's like marketers have this opening to, well, nudge us along that path. And one of their most powerful tools is this principle of reciprocity.
Reciprocity. Wait, is that like those free samples at the grocery store?
Ding, ding, ding. It's tapping into this deep human thing, right? We're wired to return favors, even something small. Creates a sense of obligation even if we don't realize it.
Funny how that works. I signed up for a free music streaming trial once, just to try it. Guess who got hooked and became a paying customer?
They gotcha. Shows you how effective it can be. But, and this is key, it's got to be genuine. People can spot a phony offer a mile away.
So real generosity, not just a trick. Speaking of tricks, though, sometimes it feels like they're playing on our fear of missing out.
Ah, the FOMO. Now there's a powerful motivator. Scarcity, urgency, these are classic tactics. Limited supply, ticking clocks, they work.
It's like they know exactly what buttons to push, only 3 left. Or, this deal expires at midnight. Those countdown timers, too.
Creating that urgency. But what's wild is it's not just our own fear of missing out, it's our need to belong. Like, if everyone else is buying it.
It must be good, right? Totally. Online reviews get me every time. Hundreds of 5-star ratings. Well, I guess I need that coffee maker after all. Total herd mentality. It's like our brains are still wired to follow the crowd.
Right. Like deep down, we're still worried about that saber-toothed tiger. If everyone else is running, we run.
Makes sense. And it's not just about how many people, it's who, right? Like, if it's someone I trust.
Absolutely. A friend, a celebrity, even someone we've never met but whose opinion we value. Suddenly we're way more likely to buy those jeans or whatever it is.
Or even just try a new podcast. A recommendation from the right person carries a lot of weight.
It's that authority principle in action. We're wired to trust experts, doctors, mechanics, you name it.
Makes you think about building your own expertise, right? In whatever you're passionate about.
Exactly. The more you cultivate that authority, the more others listen. But hey, let's switch gears for a sec. Ever notice how stores will put their priciest item right up front?
Oh, yeah. Like that top-of-the-line TV that costs more than my car.
That, my friend, is the anchoring effect. That first piece of information, it's like an anchor. It sets the standard, even if it's outrageous.
So then everything else seems, well, not cheap, but less expensive.
Exactly. It plays on how we perceive value. But at the end of the day, don't you think it comes down to connection?
Totally. Nobody wants to feel like just another sale. Especially in the age of all this online stuff, it's easy to feel like just a number.
Right.
It's like, hey, I'm a person with feelings.
And values, don't forget those.
Exactly. And nobody likes to feel like they're being tricked, you know?
It's all about authenticity, wouldn't you say? Like genuine connection. That's what people crave. It's not enough to just slap someone's name on an email and call it a day.
Tell me about it.
You got to make them feel seen, heard, understood.
It's like personalize that message. Show them you get them.
Spot on. And speaking of connection, what's more powerful than a good story, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, think about it. Why do we love movies, books, even podcasts?
They draw us in.
It's that emotional connection. It makes us feel something.
It cuts through the noise. We relate to it on a deeper level.
Totally. And you know, even this deep dive, we're kind of telling a story here, aren't we? Taking all the psychology stuff and making it relatable.
There you go. You've hit the nail on the head. It's storytelling in action. But okay, Before we get too meta, should we do a quick recap of those key principles, just so everyone's on the same page?
Good idea. Let's see, we talked about reciprocity, that whole returning favors thing.
Scarcity and urgency.
Social proof.
Right.
Everybody's doing it.
Authority, trusting the experts, and of course that anchoring fact.
Right. Which honestly still kind of blows my mind.
Sneaky, isn't it?
Totally. But the big takeaway here, right, is that it's not enough to just know these tactics exist. It's about using that knowledge.
100%. It's about being mindful, being aware of how these principles are being used, both on us and by us. Because let's be real, persuasion,
Yeah.
it's a powerful tool.
It is. It can be used for good or, well, not so good.
Exactly. So next time you see a limited time offer, a glowing review, whatever it is,
Ask yourself, am I really buying this or am I being, persuaded?
and hey, maybe even more importantly, how can you use this knowledge to become a more conscious consumer and a more ethical influencer yourself?
That's what I'm talking about. It's about taking back that control. Well, folks, there you have it. Another deep dive in the books. Hopefully you walked away today feeling a little more savvy, a little more empowered. Until next time.